Hey team, Patrick here. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to improve both the accuracy and depth on your ground strokes. And this is actually going to sound quite simple, but I know a coach colleague of mine that worked on this with British player Kyle Edmund, all the way up to him competing on the Pro Tour. So this is very relevant for all levels, from beginners to pros. So let's get into it. A common reason for players hitting the ball too short or losing control is having a very short contact zone. Not to be confused with contact point, which is where your racket is in relation to your body at the split second that your strings touch the ball. The contact zone refers to the length of time your strings are facing towards your target. So the area in our swing that I could have this contact point and still hit a successful shot and have the ball go in the right direction. We want a long contact zone, as then if I catch the ball slightly early or later in my swing, the ball's still going to go in the direction of the court. Also, extending through the ball is going to help the ball go deeper and give me more depth. A short contact zone would be hitting the ball here and then immediately coming off this target line by bending my elbow or slapping at the ball with the wrist. Now, I could still get the ball in the direction of my target, but it's going to be more difficult. I have to be much more precise with my timing, as my strings are only facing that direction for a very short period of time. So we want to stay on this line longer. Of course, our forehands and backhands are still very rotational, where the engine of the shot is the body and the big muscles. And I'm not saying that we should be swinging linearly towards our target or just with our arm, but this rotation does lead to the strings facing forwards for a short time. So extending this hitting zone with the body's rotation for most players is only going to be a good thing. I say it's like you're holding the ball on the strings. And even though this doesn't actually happen and the contact is over in a fraction of a second, it's this feeling of keeping the ball on the racket that gets us reaching a point in time where our arm is extended up like this. And technically, we could finish here as the ball's already gone and we can't influence it. We could pop the ball away. Now, we don't finish here because then we would be slowing down through the contact, and we want to be accelerating through this phase from slow to fast and not jerking to a stop, but relaxing into our follow through, where we're going to avoid injury and we're going to move into our recovery more seamlessly. But it's what happens during this phase of the stroke that's the most important element. But I still see this all the time, even from our high-level juniors here at the tennis center, swiping across the ball. And I think it comes from watching the pros in full speed and seeing these finishes. It can look like they're doing this, but watch someone like Alcaraz in slow motion, and through the ball, he's still here. And then when the ball is gone, we're seeing this relaxation and these different finish positions. It's why some of the pros like Medvedev do not look classic with their technique, whatever that is. And it's the finishes that players are looking at. But through the ball, the important bit, he's clearly elite with his racket work and ability to control the strings, or he wouldn't be able to pull off the shots that he does. It's the reason why players like McEnroe and Connors can still hit such good shots, even now. And maybe tennis technique hasn't changed as much as we think through the ball. Of course, grips have gotten more Western, more under, so we see steeper swing paths, and the lighter rackets result in more racket head speed, so we see these wraparound follow-throughs rather than these more old school extended finish positions. Imagine you were throwing a ball to someone underarm and trying to get it straight into their hands. Well, you wouldn't throw it like this, but extend your arm out towards them down the line. The way I show players on the court is to put balls out like this, and even though the second ball is going to represent the ball I'm hitting, imagine that we're trying to hit through all of the balls and not just one. Remember, there are two planes. We can hit through or we can hit up. And generally we want this up and through swing path. So when you're actually hitting the ball, it's not 2D like this, but the balls are staggered going up this way like a staircase. Now, we can't do this without good early preparation and being on balance, not falling off the shot or pulling off the shot, where we're going to move the sweet spot of the racket and shank the ball. So keep your head still and centered, not like a chicken, as I say to the juniors, not moving up and down. And this applies to open stance. If I'm on the back foot or on the full run, it's still maintaining this balance and swing path. And I can hit cross court or down the line. It's just changing where I meet the ball in this zone. So it changes the angle of my strings at contact, but I extend through the ball just the same. Right, team, please practice this the next time you're out on court. And once you find this contact, extend that zone out towards your target and watch how crisp a contact you can achieve with more ball speed and penetration through the court. So I hope this video has helped. If it has, then please leave it a like and a comment down below and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on court in the next one. Cheers, guys.